Greetings, I'm Ms. Kingsley, and this video is about numerical patterns. This is from the 5th grade Go Math Materials, lesson 9.5, and we're going to be going over the practice page from the practice materials available. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and so that you can see the exact worksheet. And I want to, again, to encourage you that if you have not already done this material, that you could pause the video at any time and see if you can figure it out on your own. I'm going to spend a little time on this first problem, even though they give you the answer. It's meant to be an example, and then we'll go on and do the rest of these practice problems. So it says, complete the rule that describes how one sequence is related to the other. Use the rule to find the unknown term. So I love patterns in math. There's lots and lots of patterns, and by finding the pattern, we find the rule. So they tell you, think the number of yards is 50 times the number of laps. Well, what are they talking about? They have a whole chart here, and there's no 50 on it. So let's look at what this chart means. It's telling you about each swimmer. 1 swimmer, 2 swimmers, 3 swimmers, 4 swimmers. The number of laps for 1 swimmer is 4, and that means the number of yards they swam was 200. So what we're looking for is a relationship between these numbers and these numbers. And if you look at that carefully, you'll see that to go from 4 to 200, we multiply times 50. So 4 times 50, we went over this in a prior video, actually one for 4th grade, where we go 4 times 5 equals 20 and add 1 0. So if we check these for each one, we will see that 8 times 50, is 400. 12 times 50 equals 600. And then this would be our missing number that they filled in for us. So we would have to take 16 and multiply it times 50. I'm not going to take the time to do that work right now, but it would come out to be 800. So that's what they mean by finding a rule, is that you need to find a relationship between these two rows. And each time it's going to be times 50. So hopefully that gives you the idea. Let's go on to number 2. It says multiply the number of pounds by, and we need to fill that in to find the total cost. So these are number of boxes. And an important thing to notice here is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6. So these do not, I'm going to put a little wiggly line there to show you that sometimes we can jump up in numbers, but the pattern between the rows is going to stay the same. So we're looking for a pattern between the number of pounds and the total cost. So we could ask ourselves, and they give us a big clue because they say multiply. Some rules involve adding, but not on this page. So they say multiply the number of pounds by something to find the total cost. So let's start. 3 times what number equals 12? Well, I think most of you know that fact. That would be 4. So we're going to say 3 times 4 is our pattern that we think works. So we're going to put 4 up here. Now let's check it. Is 6 times 4 equal to 24? Yes. 9 times 4 equal to 36? Yes. 12 times 4 equal to 48. Might take you a minute to work that out, but the answer is yes. So to fill in our mystery number, we're going to use our rule, and we're going to take 18 times 4. So let's go ahead and do that. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry the 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So our answer that goes in here is 72. Okay, we're going to keep moving on to the next part of this worksheet. So now we have, let's block off this top part. That's okay. We'll leave it there. Okay, so we have multiply the number of hours by what number to find the number of miles. So again, they gave us a big hint. The rule has to do with multiplying. So we're going to look at the number of hours, which are in this row, and the number of miles, which is in this row. Now, our number of miles is a little bit bigger number, so this is a little complicated in that we have to figure out 2 times what unknown number is equal to 130. So to do that, we would divide 130 by 2. So 2 goes into 13 6 times. And we have our 12, bring down our 1, bring down our 0, 2 goes into 10, 5 times, and we would get down to 0 remainder. So our rule here that we think works is multiply the number of hours by 65, and you get the number of miles. So now we have a missing one. So again, we use the same rule to get from the number of hours to the number of miles. So we need to say 8 times 65 and work that out. You could use the box method if you wanted, or you can do it the long way. So 8 times 65, 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 4. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 4 is 52. So we get 520 in this box. Okay, going on to number 4. We have, says multiply, then a big hint, the number of hours by some unknown number to find the amount earned. So we're looking at the number of hours by the amount earned. Okay, so we have to figure out 8 times what equals 96? 8 times some unknown number equals 96. Well, again, since division is the opposite of multiplication, I'm going to divide 96 by 8. You could use area model or partial products if you wanted to. We're going to say 8 goes into 9 one time. Bring down the 8 and subtract, and we have 1. Bring down the 6, we have 16. 8 goes into 16 2 times, and we're done. So our answer to this was 12. So we multiply the number of hours by 12 to get the number below. And if we wanted to, we could check each one of them for the sake of time on this video. I'm not going to do each of these, but each time it is true that the top number multiplied by 12 gives you the bottom number. So now we have to fill in the missing number. So we're going to have 56 times 12. Same rule applies. Again, you could use partial products or area model, or do this the long way, not the long way, the traditional way. And so we're going to go 2 times 6 equals 12, carry the 1. 2 times 5 equals 10, plus 1 is 11. Put down my Mr. Zero Superhero to hold the ones place. Over to the tens here. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Now I need to add these together. I get 2, 7, 6. Made a little mess there, but that number is 6, 7, 2. Okay, so 672 dollars earned if you spend 56 hours doing the work. Okay, let's go on to this problem solving one. This is a little trickier because they don't give us the chart. So here we go. Problem solving. Okay. It's going to tell us to the information, but not give us the chart. We're going to make a chart to help ourselves. So a map shows, a map's key shows that every 5 inches on the map represents 200 miles of actual distance. Suppose the distance between the two cities on the map is 7 inches. What is the actual distance between the two cities? Write the rule you use to find the actual distance. So I would recommend doing this way. Just like our other problems, we're going to have 2 rows. We're going to have inches, or number of inches on the map. And then we're going to have a number of actual miles. Okay? And they've only given us one set of data. They've given us 5 inches, means that you've traveled 200 miles. So they say, suppose the distance is 7 inches. So let's put our 7 up here, and now this is our missing number. We need to fill it. So we need to figure out a rule to get from this row to this row. So some of you might already see it, but we're trying to solve 5 times what unknown number equals 200. So I tell my students sometimes to, if there's an extra 0, block it off and see if you remember what is 5 times what number equals 20. Okay, so, or you could take 200 down here and divide it by 5. We're going to get 40. So 40 goes into our box. So our rule is multiply number of inches by 40. And our missing number now is going to be 7 times 40. So we have 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 4 is 28. So our missing number is going to be 280. Okay, one last one, and we're going to stop there, given that this video is getting quite long. Okay, here we go. To make each costume, Rachel used 6 yards of material and 3 yards of trim. Suppose she uses a total of 48 yards of material to make several costumes. How many yards of trim does she use? Write the rule you use to find the number of yards of trim. So I'll give you a hint here. I like to put my smaller numbers on top. So my smaller number is the 3. And when I use 3 yards of trim, I get 6 yards of material. So I'm going to put number of yards of trim is here, and number of yards of material is here. So I just have to find the relationship between 3 and 6. So 3 times what number is equal to 6? Ah, that one's not so hard, right? We know that, that's 2. But now we're going to go a long ways down this chart. We're not going to fill in all the different ones. We just know there's lots of numbers that go ahead, but we could have a 48 yards of material. So we're down here, and they want to know how many yards of trim did I use? Okay, so I had to multiply some number by 2 to get to 48. So I have what number times 2 equals 48. So our way to solve that, since division is the opposite of multiplication, is to take 48 and divide it by 2. So 2 goes into 4, 2 times, bring down the 8, and 2 goes into 8 4 times, and our answer is 24. So 24 times 2 equals 48. And our answer would be 24. The question is how many yards of trim, and we would say 24 yards of trim. Okay, we're going to stop there. These take some time and perseverance, so I hope that this was helpful to you, and we'll do another set of practice problems on the next lesson. Okay, good luck. Take care.